Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing well today. Bit of an early one, but I've been twitching to play the bus just a little bit more. You know, despite everything that's going on with tourist bus and everything like that, it's just nice to be able to play the bus and just, you know, just test it out really. I know that it's early stages, but so far I've been absolutely loving it. Now, of course, I know that, you know, it's early access. There are things which are going to be improved over time. And for me, you know, it can't get any better, to be completely honest with you. It's quite refreshing, actually, to what, you know, I'm generally used to. But anyway, enough of the ramble. Let's get into it, shall we? Hope you're all doing well this morning. Oh, a bit of an early one, but it is snowing here in Berlin. We are driving the double-decker again today. I just can't get over this. I can't get over it. The buses, they look really nice, and the environment as well looks really nice. This will be a first time that I'm going to be playing in the snow on this one. So yeah, let's jump aboard and see what we can get up to. Morning, Stu. How you doing, mate? Bright and early start. Welcome to the stream. Just got to remember all the controls now. Yeah. I just love getting into the cab, you know. I love getting behind the controls, sitting in this interior especially. You know, this is by far my favourite interior out of a lot of them. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the Scanias, but the man, you know, it's just, I don't know, I think it's the steering wheel, I'm not too sure, but let's get this warmed up anyway. Okay. Let it warm up a little bit. A bit cold outside. It's nice that you can operate it without a sail as well. Right, let's start. Pin for seller. 6806. Yeah, I feel you there, Stu. I feel you there, man. You know, it's supposed to be like a weekend, you know, have a lie-in. Yeah, right. It never happens, does it? Right, tour 5. And we've arrived. Amazing. Very ready. First couple of people of the morning. Welcome aboard. Mind your step. Be a bit slippery. I believe that's everybody. Give it a couple of minutes. Right. I think that's warmed up enough. Give the doors a close. Make sure there's nobody else. Doesn't look like it. Amazing stuff. Right. Looks like we've got the emergency brake on as well. Or the handbrake, should I say. Let's I'm not too sure whether they're going to need any air conditioning. Oh, shut up. Right. Let's disembark. I love the fact as well that the snow hits the windscreen. I think that's pretty cool. Just have a quick look. That's the problem. You can't. It'd be nice if you could look out the window, but it's fine. It's a bus lane anyway. But how are we all doing this morning? Just let it warm up a little bit. Oh, it's a bit dark. How's it going, Mr. Water? Welcome to the stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty well. But like I say, welcome. Oh, how good did this game look in the snow, though? Absolutely crazy. Obviously, like I said before, that little stutter that comes and goes, you know, I think that's the only real thing for me, which kind of lets it down a little bit. But of course, you know, because it's early access, you can kind of ignore it. Been playing Euro Truck 2, work got cancelled this weekend, so even get tomorrow off. Oh, nice one. Got to enjoy it, man. How you getting on with Euro Truck? I also saw as well the early build for Fernbus for consoles. It's not looking too bad on the Unreal Engine 5, is it? It looks very bright and glossy. Yeah, Mr. Water, it did. It was a bit dark. Absolutely. Now, what I should actually do, well, real quickly, put the brake on. Forgot to turn my lights on. No, that's parking light. Headlights. There we go. I forgot to do all of this. Turn on all the cab lights and everything. That's not good, is it? What have we got there? Heating, windscreen heating, mirror heating as well. That's always a good thing to have. There we go. We have light. But yeah, the whole plan of this morning is just to actually complete a route. I haven't actually done that yet with this game, and I thought I'd test the snow out as well. Yeah, that was something that I wanted to do, so it's just going to be a nice chilled out, relaxed route. It's decent. Had Aberdeen. Thought my God, passing my hometown. Came over the footbridge. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This little casual route. This is what I mean, you know. I wish that Tourist Bus and all the others were like this. actually being a bus driver, you know, not like, I know we get our routes and stuff and our pickups and everything, but to actually be like a fully fledged bus driver, you know, with your ticket system and all that sort of stuff, you know, it makes it more enjoyable to play, in my opinion. Customers, passengers, should I say? He's an eager one this morning. All aboard. Oh, absolutely. Too many keys, though. Yeah, absolutely that. Not sure my gaming laptop would cope with this game. It runs Euro Truck Simulator 2 and it's just fine. 6 sounds manual memory to 16GB. I mean, well, I mean, I guess it would depend on. It would really depend on what laptop you have. I know that gaming laptops tend to run ridiculously hot at the best of times, and there are things that you can do to obviously aid that, but this is a very, very demanding game. Gonna let me out. Amazing. Whoa. Okay. But you never know. I mean, because it's early access, getting refunded is an easier process. So you never know, you could always try it out, and if you don't like it and it don't run very well, you could always get your refund, can't you? I think that's the best thing to do if you're, you know, contemplating giving it a go. Potholes are dangerous. But yeah, guys, you know, like I say, with all these new simulation games that are coming out, it's kind of hard to keep up with it all. You know, you've got so many different games coming out.
S-Bahnhof Beuselstraße.
Contemplating trying out that food truck simulator as well at some point. Got to get a few games out of the way first, you know. Terrible for it, I am. I see a deal, snatch it up, and then it's finding time to get around to actually playing that game, and then I end up with like 4 or 5 different games that I just don't know what to do with. Yeah, I mean, food truck sim, you know, it looks okay, but I think it's probably going to last as long as what Gas Station Simulator did. You know, you chuck a few hours into it and, you know, you play a couple of days and then you just find yourself hitting a wall. My gaming laptop has never run exceptionally hot. Warm, yeah, but not really hot. I think it's to do with the processor, iPhone. I mean, you should, if that's your specs, you should be alright for the bus then. You've just got to, you've essentially just got to play around with a few settings, you know, and just get the game working and you know, best suited for obviously your laptop. I mean, one of the heaviest reviews for this game, one of the biggest criticisms, is the fact of, you know, it's not optimized very well. So it really does sort of batter your system. But you know, if you're prepared for it and you mess around with the settings and get everything kind of dialed in, you know, it's possible. Hey, first ticket of the day. Oh, and of course he's paying by his mobile. Oh, paying by card, sorry. So, Berlin AB, what do you want? A single ticket? And by card. Makes things so much easier. Yeah, I mean, this is another thing that needs to be improved upon. Like, the change. Because you can barely see that. You have to be really zoomed in to see that. Not that it's, you know, a hindrance, but if you're somebody that likes taking the tickets as much as possible, because you can change that on a slider, like the frequency of how often people request tickets. I got Police Simulator Patrol Officers on PS5. I've seen Firefighting Sim in Squad is coming to PS5. Yes, yes. The Police Simulator Patrol Officers doesn't look too bad. Maybe not for the price that's being asked, though. Oh my goodness, those potholes. But yes, I saw the Firefighting Sim coming in December. Doesn't look too bad. Not too bad. But I think for me, just essentially just waiting to, you know, the gaming industry, like we say, it's a bit fractured these days. You know, and you don't really know what you're buying until you get it, and then you've just got to kind of accept the fact, haven't you, these days? If you don't like it, of course. But yeah, I used to be somebody that used to pre-order games and things like that. I just don't do that anymore. I'd rather just wait to find out, you know, what the problems are. And usually you can get a better experience that way when, you know, the game's sort of brought up to speed and ironed and polished out if there are any significant problems.
Turmstraße, Beuselstraße.
You know, but it's really nice to hear that Fernbus will be brought up to Unreal Engine 5 pretty soon. I think that's going to happen before anything, which is nice. There we are. Oh, a bit stuttery there. Unfortunately, though, like I said, that stuttering, that's just something that you've just got to deal with for the time being. Doesn't happen all the time, but it's all good. What's going on here? Let's go round, shall we? But what are you all up to anyway? Got much planned for the weekend? I'm aiming to get quite a few videos out over the course of this weekend. Euro Truck, especially being one of them. If anybody actually wants to do some multiplayer, let us know. I'll be happy to do some multiplayer with you guys. Yeah, it certainly seems that way, Mr. Water.
U-Bahnhof Turmstraße.
Coming up to a turning. Yep. There's a little bit more of a wider berth there. Phone bus simulator PC gets over 5 update PC. I mean, they could. It could be the case of it comes at the same time, but I have a suspicion that it'll land for PC probably a little bit sooner than everything else. But waiting for the Texas expansion to drop for ATS. Have all the other map expansions for it. Yeah, nice one, man. I did have a look at the Texas. It does look pretty cool. Or the trailer, should I say. I don't know, like, I feel that as much as I like American Truck, I think that it needs, I don't know, I think it needs a little bit of an overhaul. When you play, I don't know if you've noticed this, but when you play Euro Truck Sim 2, it kind of looks just a little bit nicer, in my opinion. Is everyone aboard? But yeah, guys, like I say, with Euro Truck, I do want to get some form of multiplayer going, and I've said this for a very, very long time. Now, of course, you know, nobody has to talk or anything, it can just be done through the stream, but to get something structured would be absolutely amazing, you know. So if you are interested in doing something like that a little later on this evening, then by all means just let me know. Get some convoys going. Oh yeah, absolutely, Mr. Water. I'm not saying that they both aren't incredible visually looking games, because they are. You know, they're far better than the majority of the simulation games which we're used to. But they could definitely do American truck more so. I think it's just the scenery most of the time for me. See, I don't know whether it's the I don't know whether it's the snow or whatever that's causing stuttering a bit more, but who knows. Like I say, this game definitely needs a, you know, better optimization, but it's still fun to play. Oh, am I in the wrong lane? Yeah. Go. I sat there thinking to myself, when are these lights going to change? Shit. But I mean, of course, when it comes to the simulation side of things as well, being able to actually sort of gauge as to where the so-called market is going at the moment, more so for the console side of things. You know, it's really, really nice to see that consoles are getting a little bit more love. You know, I don't think there's ever enough simulation games for console. You know, and like I say, I've always wanted to see the likes of the bus, you know, American truck, Euro truck, come to consoles. You know, it would be amazing, I think, but I don't know, I think there's a lot in between all of that. Yeah, I mean, in the back of my mind, I can't say I've ever ruled out the possibility of you know, SCS ever bringing any of their games to the consoles regarding Euro Truck or American Truck. But there was an interview that they done, it was getting on a couple of years ago now, maybe last year or the year before, where they discussed it potentially coming. Now, of course, there's a lot of speculation, and I mean, people do get excited for it, and you know, they just take one piece of information and run with it. But I can't say that I've seen anything regarding their games coming to consoles anytime soon. As to whether they've said anything, I don't know. I haven't really looked at it too much, but you know, they have expressed reasons as to why they wouldn't. And I guess it comes down to more so the experience that you have, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things, you know, involved with that, and there would be a lot of changes that would need to be made. And I feel that if they was to do that, you wouldn't get the full experience. Now, if they was to make a new game and build it through an engine which can be put onto, you know, consoles, things like that, from, you know, starting from the beginning and working their way up to the top, that could be possible. Like I say, I've never ever ruled it out, but I can understand why they wouldn't, you know. But I'm all for it. I mean, you know, if they was to bring Euro Truck, an American Truck, to consoles, you know, I'd be absolutely all over that. I mean, in theory, you can play Euro Truck on console through your Xbox, through GeForce Now, but I think there's a few limitations there regarding wheel support and all that kind of stuff, sadly. Feels like these lights are taking forever. But that is the biggest concern, isn't it? It's how well it would be porting wise, you know. What have you given me? Thankfully, she's given me the right amount. So what do you want? Berlin ABC, single ticket. Yeah, that in itself, you know, of course, modding will always be a console limitation. That's just something which, you know, sadly, kind of robs the experience, I think. But you know, there's going to be certain elements of a game like Euro Truck which, you know, modding for consoles has always been a bit of an iffy subject, I think. But it is down to the limitations. Because a lot of the Euro Truck stuff, I know that the game is good, but, you know, as a core game. But it's also the mods which also make it a much better experience as well. You know, and yeah, I guess it can kind of sway people's opinions on certain things, but for me, I feel like the modding community makes the game much better in various different ways. But at the end of the day, it's a tailored experience, isn't it? You know, and that's the beauty about Euro Truck and American Truck, is that there are so many options, there are so many settings that you can play around with, that you can really sort of tailor to how you want a truck, and it increases, you know, makes your whole trucking experience that just a little bit better. And you got to give credit where credit is due. There's no other trucking simulation game out there at the moment which really offers that, and for the price that you pay for these games as well, you know, it's crazy. For the game that you get, it's just it's just an absolute steal. You can never argue with it. Ah, okay. So, oh, Berlin ABC. What do you want? A single ticket? And he wants to pay by card. My favourite passengers. ETS2 has expanded some since its first release. You wouldn't really miss pro mods on next gen consoles. I mean, I think for me, what I would be more interested in is how they would actually go about doing something like that. You know, to kind of firstly understand whether it would be a possibility. I mean, I have done a video on it before, actually, discussing my thoughts as to whether it would or it wouldn't. And unfortunately, as it stands at the moment, there are a lot of reasons as to why it wouldn't, rather than why it would. That person just floated out. Never mind. Right, I'm still on the ABC. Thank you very much, sir. I don't know. I will be on Euro Truck later on. So
Charité Campus Mitte.
this game, it looks really, really nice in the snow. Also saw, like I said, for the phone bus, they showcased that in the snow as well, and I just thought that was really, really good. I mean, I played it in the snow anyway, but for like Unreal Engine 5, you know, it's cool to see. It's cool to see. So you want what's that? Berlin AB. A single ticket, and we're going to pay by card. Amazing. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. Like I say, anybody's welcome. It don't matter what time you come in. You know, I'm going to be here either way.
Marschallbrücke.
We are on time, which is really, really nice. Makes a change. I guess for me, for this game, not just the visuals, because the visuals are really good. And you know, that is a good selling point for this game. But not only that, you know, it feels lived in. And like I say, with simulation games, I can't stress this enough. You really need a balance of two, because it's all well and good the buses and the environment, or should I say the buses looking good, but if the environment isn't there, you know, and the kind of like the surroundings, I don't know, it can really sort of steal the whole immersion side of it. It was played by card. So what do you think of the early access to the bus then? I mean, so far, like I say, I'm pleasantly surprised actually. Now, obviously, because it's TML, my first initial thoughts were it's going to be another one of those games, you know, it's going to be full of bugs and there's going to be lots of promises to put it right and all that sort of stuff. But this game is looking really, really good for early access, and it doesn't run too badly either for early access. You know, I haven't really come across any sort of major bugs. The only thing that happens every now and then, like I said, it's just the stuttering, and that's just something which I'm sure over time that they will polish and iron out. But this is what I mean, it's the beauty about it being in early access. You know, you can kind of dismiss that, but they seem to be updating this game quite frequently in comparison to something like Tourist Bus or, you know, or anything else that they've done. You know, so for me, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. It is an absolute pleasure to play. You know, and I mean, there's no campaign or story career mode available at the moment. But for the free play side of it, you know, there's a healthy selection of buses to choose from. There's dynamic weather to choose from as well, you know, and for me, I feel that being able to actually play a game in this much detail, as well as be able to carry out the sort of life as a bus driver, you know, it does a very, very good job with that. So, you know, I would give it a generous 6 out of 10 at the moment, maybe 5.5. There is definitely a lot of room for improvement, but for what we've got as like a core base of a game that's in early access still, you know, you can only really imagine what it would be like when it comes out of early access. Yeah, exactly, yeah, Mr. Watt. Yeah. And to be fair, Fernbus, it still has its issues today. It still has its issues today. But it is a good game to play, and I'm sure that when it does actually release to consoles, everyone will have a lot of fun playing it, I would imagine. But obviously that comes down to whether they, you know, they port it over right. We all know what happened with Tourist Bus, you know, it wasn't very good, was it? So I'm hoping that, you know, I'm hoping that things are different this time round. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes. A lot of people have actually suggested that they used Tourist Bus as kind of a platform to gauge the concept of Fernbus actually coming to consoles in the first place. So in other words, a lot of people have speculated that Tourist Bus is actually just a stepping stone for something which, you know, anyone that's really bought the game, basically just a guinea pig, really. We are the testers.
Unter den Linden, Friedrichstraße.
Of course, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. You know, you've got Microsoft and Sony to deal with, and getting updates and patches out is not exactly the easiest task with them. I completely sympathise with that, and these things do take time and they do take money. But if you look at something like the bus, yes, it is for PC, but there would be no reason as to why this game wouldn't be able to come over to consoles, and maybe, just maybe, with the experience that they get through Tourist Bus, the experience that they get through, you know, Fernbus coming to console, you never know. You never know. It could be on the cards, but they really do have to dial in and kind of knuckle down on what people are really saying and what people are asking for. And being a little bit more consistent with their updates and, you know, fixing problems which get addressed on a daily basis. And I think for me that is very important. You know, now if Fernbus doesn't do very well when it hits consoles, I think they're going to have a little bit of a war on their hands. You know, with the likes of what happened with Tourist Bus, and Tourist Bus is still in a bit of a state. You know, we can only hope that these things get sorted out as time goes on, even though that they've had plenty of time to do it, with the promise of them being upgraded to Unreal 5. You know, let's just hope that that is the last of it and people can enjoy the game for what it really supposed to be. Because I mean, the Xbox side of things still haven't got the full-fledged experience, because you're still missing the luggage update and all that sort of stuff. So there is definitely a lot to be desired, isn't there? Yeah, I mean, just at the expense of the player, though. You know, they've got to be very, very careful with the things that they say. You know, because at the end of the day, if that was the overall objective there, as a form of a stepping stone, you know, they really, really should have got the game to a standard of where they could have acceptably done that. But unfortunately, it's backfired for them. Because I'm aware that it was Zero, I think it's Zero Games, which ported over Tourist Bus to console. And, you know, there's a lot of blaming and pointing the finger as to who's really responsible for it. But at the end of the day, they're all under the same umbrella. They've all put their names on something, so they all hold a certain level of responsibility for the games and the things which they produce. It's not usually the game, which I'm frustrated with, because at the end of the day, you know, the game's not to blame, because it's just a game, but the people that are involved with that really need to sort of prioritise and get their stuff in order so that things like this don't happen again. But, you know, I'm in fear of it happening again. As much as I like playing Fernbus, Tourist Bus, even the bus, you know, I'm still skeptical. Based on the experience that I've had with all three games. And that's it. People make up their own minds, you know. They, unfortunately, Aerosoft haven't got the best of reputations. So from a PR perspective, for publishing games, you know, people don't take them seriously. They see him as a bit of a laughing stock, Fabian. because of the things that he says and the things which, well, he says and doesn't deliver on, essentially. But hopefully, as time goes on. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, Mr. Water. You know, take him with a pinch of salt. But that's it. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. Is to, if he wants people to buy the new games which he's publishing for, you know, he has to understand that we're not stupid. You know, and we're not gonna lay down. You know, if the games are consistently poor, you know, then people will just stop buying them. You know, at least the people that have experience with that. But unfortunately, not everybody does their due diligence, and you know, sometimes reviews can be extremely biased. So to actually get a better understanding of what, you know, the games are really about, it's what I try to achieve on my channel, is to try and give a little bit of a 50-50. But a lot of people get my passion confused with hate, and they rule me off as somebody that doesn't appreciate or enjoy what they're trying to achieve, and you know, that's not the case. I get frustrated because the things which could be changed and the things which need to be addressed seem to get brushed under the carpet, and they've always seemed to got something else going on rather than fixing things which are clearly an issue. You know, some people swear that there's nothing wrong with the games, you know, then they absolutely love playing them, and that it's the best experience that they've ever had. And you know, if that's how they feel about it, you know, they're entitled to that. But for me, I've got too much of a realistic mindset, I think. You know, I can't sit here and say to people that the game is flawless, because evidently it's not. You know, it's just, I can't do that to people. If somebody asks me how I feel about a particular game, I will tell them honestly, and I will back that up with evidence as to why. I just say these things, you know, just for the fun of it. You know, I do like to try and explain the reasons as to why I particularly don't like certain elements of games, and I think you get sort of a better understanding of what you're getting yourself into. Because let's face it, there are a lot of things which do need to be addressed, and they do need to change, fix. And I think it's just old habits, you know, a lot of copying and pasting. But that was a really, really fun route. I've definitely enjoyed that. You know, like I say, this game is definitely different. It definitely offers a little bit more, and especially it being in early access as well, you know, it definitely brings a lot to the table. You know, and as far as it goes, I'm extremely excited to see the future of the bus, and see what they actually do with it, because you know, they are opening it up to the modding community. They're opening it up to a lot of things. So this game by far is going to be, I don't know, we shall see. I mean, I've got high hopes, I've got high expectations, but I mean, what's there not to like at the moment? I mean, look at that. Visually, it's just, it's very pleasing. It is very pleasing. And like I say, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, when it comes down to the updates and stuff, they seem to be working on it. So, I mean, for me, you know, that's a win-win. It's a tick in my boxes. But exactly know what it's saying. Watching the passengers spinning around on the spot when you check them, it makes. Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, Mr. Watt. It's not about. Sometimes it's not about you know, the the overall sort of like what the game is trying to achieve. It's how it's dealt with, you know, like we get a problem and it doesn't get addressed. It doesn't, you know, we just get told the same generic answers over and over and over again. And it's something which in my mind, you know, if you've got passengers spinning around on the spot, it's definitely going to take away from the immersion anyway, the experience that you have, you know, with the game in general. But like I say, guys, I really hope that you do enjoy these bus videos. You know, I'm enjoying playing them as well. You know, the buses are fantastic. The environment, everything about this game at the moment is, like I said, it's just ticking all the boxes for me, and it will continue to be shown on the channel. And I will try and keep you up to date with all the other busing simulation in between as well. But I think I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Like I say, I hope you enjoyed the little tour. You know, if you did enjoy it, leave us a cheeky like. If you are new here, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. We will be back a little bit later on. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your mornings, guys. You take care and, you know, take it easy, stay safe, and hopefully I catch you all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.